Over the course of our history, human civilization has proven to have shown remarkable sophistication, creating technologies that have proven to preserve even into the modern age. However, among many of these advancements lie several artifacts and constructions that lie outside the realm of believability. These ancient mysteries challenge our understanding of the past and prompt us to reconsider the capabilities of our ancestors. From an ancient computer found on the shores of ancient Greece to an odd collection of spherical rocks that serve a rather mysterious purpose, these are some of the oldest technologies that scientists still cannot explain. Of the many ancient tools and devices prominent in the field of archaeology, few are as astounding in complexity as the Antikythera mechanism. Found over a century ago in the derelict wreckage of an ancient Grecian ship, this piece has confused all historians that attempt to study it and give us a glimpse of a civilization that was tremendously more complex than once thought. The tale of the Antikythera mechanism begins with its discovery in 1901, when Greek sponge divers would stumble onto a shipwreck near the island of Antikythera in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. It was recovered amongst other objects in the wreckage. Initially just looking like an abstract clump of bronze and wood, it would later be identified by scientists as far more complex. This would be the conclusion after years of analysis. Having the appearance of a jumbled mass of fragmented pieces, a closer inspection would reveal more sophisticated contraptions, as the instrument would comprise at least 30 interlocking gears. Additionally, the device was housed in a wooden case that was adorned with inscriptions that depicted celestial bodies. Modern scientists predict that these inscriptions are extremely relevant to solving the mystery of what such a device could have been used for in ancient times. Though the true workings of the Antikythera mechanism are still of popular debate amongst scholars, most believe that it would have been capable of predicting the positions and movements of the sun, moon, planets, as well as lunar and solar eclipses. This would mean that it was some sort of astronomical calculator for the purposes of forecasting celestial events and recording the passage of time. However, alternative theories include the possibility of being a navigational aid or potentially orreries for educational purposes. Whatever the truth of purpose, it remains a testament to the technical skill of its creators. Upon its discovery, the Antikythera mechanism would revolutionize how we understand ancient technology and astronomy. Before its discovery, most believed devices of such acute sophistication were not possible in antiquity. However, the complexity of its design and hints of a sophisticated function would challenge long-held assumptions about the capabilities of ancient civilizations like the ancient Greeks. Moreover, the mechanism sheds light on both the celestial and mathematical understanding of their civilization that has persevered for over a millennium. Presently, scientists still undergo attempts at recreating the device's function to determine its true purpose. The mechanism serves as a reminder that the efforts of historians to decipher these ancient technologies can span many different disciplines and many different generations over decades and centuries. In the field of ancient technology, few others hold such a thick air of mystery as the Baghdad Battery does. Having been discovered in modern-day Iraq, the strange device has been subject to debate between archaeologists and histories for decades. Dating back at least 2,000 years, the Baghdad Battery consists of a clay jar, an asphalt stopper, and an iron rod, which many believe are the components of a primitive battery. Though the components seem to be relatively simple at first, many believe that its use is rather remarkable for ancient civilization during this time. The story of this curious artifact begins during the 1930s, when German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig uncovered a collection of curious objects during surveys near the city of Baghdad. Included in the collection of items would be the clay jar, of which inside would be a copper cylinder that encased a small iron rod, with an asphalt stopper that kept the opening to the jar sealed. While this was initially dismissed as a mundane miscellaneous object, a second analysis by scientists decades later would turn heads, As to them, it would seem to resemble a primitive battery of sorts. The true function of the battery remains pure speculation, as various theories have been proposed over the ages to explain its true purpose. Some scholars suggest that the battery is used for a process called electroplating, a way in which a metal object would be coated with a thin layer of a different metal using an electrical current. Prior to this, evidence of other electroplated artifacts from ancient Mesopotamia would support this theory and would suggest that the Baghdad Battery could have potentially been used for primitive metallurgical processes. Additional interpretations of the use for the Baghdad Battery lean more towards medical or even religious functions, citing cases in which electrotherapy and ritual practice involving electric shocks have occurred in civilization before. Though, it should be noted that many of the theories surrounding the Baghdad Battery are subject to extreme scrutiny, as many fringe ideas for its use have been debunked in the past as being radically unrealistic. The discovery and analysis of the Baghdad Battery served to alter perceptions of the technological prowess of ancient Mesopotamia. If the device was in fact used for electroplating, then it would put their scientific and engineering ability ahead of what we had believed their people to be capable of before. It additionally is an example of how ancient metallurgy and craftsmanship such as this one is often overlooked by the archaeological community. In conclusion, the Baghdad Battery remains to be one of the more intriguing finds recovered from the Mesopotamia River Valley civilization. This peculiar artifact is the centerpiece to countless theories about ancient civilizations and their capability to master electricity centuries before modern humans would do so. As time passes and more information regarding this tool comes to light, we gradually grow a larger appreciation towards the genius of our ancient ancestors. Located in the fertile plain region of the Bekaa Valley in modern-day Lebanon lies one of the most interesting archaeological sites known in the entire world, Bal Bec. Being one of the oldest remnants of an ancient city still around today, they are home to some very interesting creations. Dubbed the Bal Bec megaliths, these massive stone blocks date back thousands of years and threaten to change how we have come to understand ancient engineering and construction. The history of the city of Bal Bec spans thousands of years. It originally was named after the Phoenician god Baal, as it was used as a religious center for the purpose of worshipping this being. However, the site would grow significantly around the 1st century BCE when it would fall under Roman rule and would eventually be renamed to Heliopolis. This is when Bal Bec's architectural marvels would begin construction, namely the Temple of Jupiter and the Bal Bec megaliths. The most significant feature of the Bal Bec megaliths is the trilithon, a series of 3 massive stone blocks that weigh an estimated 800 tons each. These stones were quarried from the surrounding area and transported over a far distance to be arranged in the center of the city, serving as the foundation of the Temple of Jupiter. The gargantuan size of even one of these massive chunks of rock in the trilithon has sparked endless debate between scholars and historians as to how the Romans were able to accomplish the movement of things of this scale. The construction techniques utilized during the creation of the megaliths remain primarily shrouded in mystery and are still being studied by archaeologists. While some propose that simple tools and manpower were used stringently over a period of several years, others believe that more sophisticated means of transportation played a part in the construction process. They claim that it was likely that the architects utilized ramps, cranes, or even tools that are still unknown. Additionally, the sheer accuracy in which the trilithon stones were cut hint at engineering capabilities that were previously thought to be impossible during this period. Historians theorize that the blocks were likely cut in a very similar fashion to another Roman site, Pont du Gard, located in southern France. Each piece was likely hauled to the site using a capstan, a primitive version of the modern winch. Though it was powered by humans instead of friction, the stones were likely split along natural cracks and then dragged along the ground. Though simply, The overwhelming size of the megalith blocks are unique. To date, these are the largest stones that have ever been quarried and moved by human hands, between every civilization that has ever existed. Even if the technology to move these pieces were possible, the organization required to accomplish such a feat must have been extremely difficult to arrange and could have possibly taken multiple generations' worth of planning and labor. The Bal Bec megaliths, as well as the entirety of the ancient city of Bal Bec, are significant in that they possess an engineering complexity that is unique to the region. As an UNESCO heritage site, they are highly coveted by modern scientific study and are proposed to have numerous mysteries about them that have simply not been answered as of the present. The next piece of technology is a foreboding reminder that much of ancient history remains unknown to us, even in present day. Having been discovered in Delhi, India, this structure would later be dubbed the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Dating back over 1600 years, this remarkable pillar is puzzling to the laws of modern science, as it appears to have been immune to the natural effects of weathering and corrosion. For centuries, the pillar laid exposed to the bare elements, yet is in rather astonishingly good condition. The Iron Pillar of Delhi is believed to have been erected in the 4th century AD during the reign of Emperor Chandragupta II of the renowned Gupta dynasty. Its original location, where it was discovered, was in the ancient kingdom of Magadha, but it would be relocated at some point to the Qutb complex in Delhi. The exact purpose of the pillar has remained a subject of debate between archaeologists for countless years. Some suggest that it played the role of a flagstaff or some sort of memorial, while others believe that the pillar is open to a long-lost interpretation of religious symbolism and significance. Despite its exact use being unknown, India has adopted the pillar as a sort of monument for the country's rich cultural and metallurgical heritage. The pillar is, unfortunately, incomplete. Meant to be dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu, it would have at one point had an ornament on the top of the pillar, likely depicting the deity's companion, Garuda. Historians believe that it would have been removed at some point during the Sultanate period because it conflicted with the growing Islamic faith within the area. As previously mentioned, the most remarkable aspect of the Iron Pillar of Delhi is in its resistance to corrosion. Its old age meant that it was exposed to the elements every day for over a millennium and a half. Yet, there is virtually no rust present on its surface, with only sparse traces of minor oxidation. The reason for its remarkable durability is yet to be explained by modern scientists and metallurgists, leading the pillar to be subject to endless analysis. As of our current era, the Iron Pillar of Delhi is the most significant example of iron metallurgy in the world, and its resistance to corrosion will hopefully lead modern technology down a route that allows us to replicate these conditions to form a protective oxide layer, from which we can prolong the weathering of exterior structures and important mechanical technologies. Also having been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Iron Pillar of Delhi is not a one-of-a-kind, however. Similar structures with these resistive properties can also be observed at Dar in Madhya Pradesh and at Kadachadri in Karnataka. It seems the same mysterious preservatives were used throughout ancient Indian civilization and was a well-known practice at some point. Regardless, the puzzle behind how this monument remains standing while its surrounding city has long since turned to dust will remain subject to incredible experimentation and hypothesis. But what if the technology found by archaeologists simply defies any and all explanation? Excavated from within the dense rainforests of Costa Rica lie a collection of strange artifacts that have remained a complete mystery to the historians of Central America. Scattered throughout the small island of Isla del Cano and the Diquis Delta are an assortment of over 300 stones. The intended use for these stones likely died with their creators, the Diquis culture, which prospered in the area around 800 to 1500 AD. The stone spheres of Costa Rica would receive global attention in the late 19th century when workers at a banana plantation would uncover them, clearing land for expansion. Since the discovery of the initial few spheres, hundreds of them have popped up along the perimeter of the area. The stone artifacts, often referred to by archaeologists as petrospheres, would range radically in size, scale, and material. Some have been found to have been smoothed from granite, gabbro, and limestone, with some of the largest weighing up to 16 tons. These represent some of the most impressive stone carvings that have been excavated from the pre-Columbian period in the Americas. Despite their varying sizes, weights, and compositions, every single one of the stone spheres are made in perfect, spherical symmetry, often being compared to the modern billiard ball. Once again, the fact that these indigenous people were able to accomplish such accuracy in their craftsmanship suggests that there were methods of stonemasonry that we are oblivious to at this time, and the discovery of this method of mass-producing perfectly spherical orbs to then leave buried throughout the region would help us better understand that largely sparse histories of Central American civilization. With these cultures having left no written records, historians have run into trouble deriving the significance of the stone spheres. The leading theory at this time is that the petrospheres were used for ceremonial or religious function. However, it is common within the field of anthropology to assume that artifacts with unknown purposes can just be summed up to having been used for ceremonial practice. Our only hint regarding these spheres is that several sites have included them in arrangements and patterns that could be interpreted to have aligned with astronomical events that occurred during their civilization's lifetime. They also could have been used in more practical manners, like having been boundary markers for various territories in the region or held by powerful families to symbolize their superior social status. Efforts have been made by the people of Costa Rica to preserve these mysterious stones, both at their current sites throughout the rainforest and when new additions to the assortments of petrospheres are found. Regardless of their true purpose, they represent a significant competency in craftsmanship for a region that is often ignored by the scientific community and are the final landmark of the late Dequis civilization. Efforts are made to raise awareness for them and to increase preservation efforts so that they may last into future generations. All of these unexplainable technologies serve as reminders of the enduring mysteries of the past. As scientists continue to unravel the secrets of these ancient technologies, one thing remains certain. The mysteries of the past continue to captivate our imagination and inspire further exploration. Whether through archaeological discoveries or technological advancements, the quest to understand these ancient enigmas serves as a testament to the enduring curiosity and resilience of humanity in the face of the unknown.